I get no pleasure out of bringing up this next subject out of the DNC, but it is what it is. Democrats are apparently throwing some sort of abortion palooza in Chicago, as it's being called. Kristen Day, who is the executive director of Democrats for Life of America, so she's a Democrat, but believe it or not, there's a small wing of the Democrat Party that believes in the pro-life movement. Kristen Day was interviewed by Fox News Digital and said that they're degrading human life and women for that matter. It's disgusting. They continue a celebration of abortion. Planned Parenthood is outside of the DNC, and with the blessings of the DNC, they are offering free abortion services inside of a mobile health clinic, which is parked in Chicago during the convention. Pro-abortion activists are marching through the streets of Chicago ahead of the convention and announcing and offering these services. Day said that she believed the overall problem with the Democrat Party is consistent celebration of abortion. I want to talk about that for just a moment. So, remember when Bill Clinton, it wasn't that long ago, Bill Clinton speaking at the convention tonight, and it was not that long ago that he announced that he wanted abortion to be legal, safe, and rare. I think that's right. I might have those words mixed up a little bit, and I might be transposing one, but the spirit of that is correct. Legal, safe, and rare. For all of my adult life, as I have been engaging in this format for almost a quarter of a century now, the argument between the two factions on the issue of abortion has been whether or not a woman should have the right to choose above and beyond any faith-based argument on the other side to suggest that life begins at the moment of conception. I understand that argument. But never have I understood the concept of a celebration of abortion. Even if you agree that a woman should have an ultimate right to make that decision at some point during the pregnancy, let's try to keep it as simple as possible. Even if you believe in a woman's ability to terminate a pregnancy in the first trimester, that's the first 12 weeks, okay? Roughly 12 to 14. Even if you believe that, why in the hell would it be something to celebrate? One would think that it would be a gut-wrenching decision made under circumstances that the individual did not ask for. One would think that this would be a decision that would be made after heartfelt consultation with one's doctor or heartfelt consultation with one's family, and it would be a decision, even if someone came to that decision. And I'm not judging it. I want to set aside judgment for a moment, set aside any of that for a moment, and set aside your spiritual, faith-based, or political beliefs on it. And I know that's difficult to ask you to do. The only thing that I can classify, the only way that I can classify what's going on at the DNC in Chicago is evil. I'm not trying to do that. I just don't understand it. Why you would celebrate the necessity to terminate what is obviously a life growing inside of you, or even if you don't believe that, it will be a life. Unless you act in some sort of affirmative fashion, that is going to grow to the point that it's going to want to come out. And it will be a baby. What do I always tell you about Democrats? Over and over I say this. I say two things you need to know about Democrats. They think you're dumb, and they always overplay their hand. And I think this is a combination of both of those things. They believe because Roe v. Wade was such a wrongly decided issue in 1973, and because it finally got a look at the Supreme Court level in a way that the Supreme Court said, no, we made up law with whole cloth. That's not the way that the court was designed. This needs to go back to the states. The Constitution of the United States does not speak to this issue. And so, obviously, if the Constitution does not speak to something or about something, it is left respectively to the states and the people. And in this case, this issue is left to the states. The Supreme Court in Dobbs v. Jackson did not, quote, strike down abortion in any way. What it said was that the federal government and the Constitution of the United States of America has not spoken on this matter. Therefore, the matter is left respectively to the states. So there are states now where you can go and you can have an abortion up until birth. I'm sad to report that, but it is true. And there are other states like ours in the state of Tennessee, as you well know, that have restricted the ability of a woman to have an abortion because it is the belief of the elected officials in this state that life matters and that life has rights, the same type of rights that you enjoy as an American citizen and as a citizen and resident of the state of Tennessee. So in no way did Dobbs v. Jackson strike down the ability for people to have abortion. They turned it back over to the states themselves. However, the Democrats believe that they have a winning strategy with regard to the issue of abortion because they think that women are stupid. And maybe in some cases they're right. I don't know. I believe that's the overarching premise of the presentation over the last couple of days in Chicago at the Democrat National Convention. That if you're not paying that much attention, or if you're easily manipulated, or if you are easily led down an emotional path, the Democrats got you where they want you. And if there's anything wrong in your life, let's blame someone else. If there's anything wrong in your life and you're a person of color, blame racism. If there's anything wrong in your life and you're a female, blame the evil, mean-spirited conservative Republicans that want to take away your rights, including the right to have an abortion any damn time you please, including on the streets of Chicago. I just feel like it's turned a corner. Where there was a time where we could reasonably have a discussion with someone that disagrees with us on this issue, and that person would say, look, nobody wants to turn to abortion as the answer. Nobody wants to suggest that it should be the first answer, but it should be an option for women that find themselves in a bad way, whether it's through rape or through an act of incest, or if they find a pregnancy that was unwanted and they want to terminate that pregnancy early on in the pregnancy. That's not something that we want to happen. It should be rare that it happens, but it should be protected as a right that the woman has, regardless of what your faith compels you or how your faith compels you with regard to when life begins. We believe that others that might think differently or feel differently or have different faith-based perspectives on it, those individuals have rights too under the Constitution of the United States of America. I mean, I get the argument, but the argument always came from a place of somberness and in a place of last resort. Now, the Democrats seem to be celebrating the ability that women have to kill babies or to kill future babies. I understand why someone might agree with the idea of a woman having access to abortion procedures during the first trimester. I might not agree with it, but I can understand that argument. I don't understand what's going on in Chicago. I don't understand how anyone can celebrate what's going on in Chicago. Come on down and have a free abortion on the street. We'll pay for it, and we'll celebrate it. It'll be a big party. We'll have balloons and streamers. Disgusting.